I feel this pain in the air. I see your anger and feelings of injustice. I also see your bills, and of course, I expect your doubts. You used to plug and play and start working, so why do you need to change something in the working process, especially when you own business? And yes, I claim you can go local, but why? What's the reason? Let me showcase the lacks of chatbots and APIs, as well as show you the advantages of the local inference in this short video. Most of you will say, I need stability, I need this just working. I had tuning up something, I go to ChatGPT or Claude when I need an advice, and I pay for the API if I need to code. I don't want to care of anything going wrong. Okay, I've got it, but let me show you another side of this approach. Let's be honest, you have only two options, to pay or to wait. And that's all. You don't have an alternative. Let me give you a simple example. Right now I asked Gemini in Google AI Studio just one question, and then wanted to ask a follow-up question. And what I see: you've reached your rate limit, please try again later. What? Just a simple question? Oh, I mean just a single question. I can remember Google AI Studio a year ago. I could talk to Gemini up to its limit to 1 million tokens. I've been talking for days and nights, and this way was almost limitless. But what's now? 1-2 question and I see a red warning. Well, you can say I go Chinese. Okay, let's switch to Kimi 3.0, the best open source model to date. Oh my god, what I see! Too many people are chatting with Kimi right now. Subscribe and blah blah blah. Just ask yourself one question. When you chat with an LLM model for free, who pays? I will answer, it's you, switching to paid tier. You can say I always can switch to API, and you are correct. You can do that, but what if you are going to send multiple requests, for example? Okay, you can write code, you can work with a single project, and you still believe there are no limits. Let me correct you since you are wrong. Even paid APIs have multiple limits to parallel requests, number of tokens you spend per minute and even hour, and so on. Do you think I'm joking? Let's verify my claim. Take a look at this Gemini API rate limits. So, even if you pay them $20,000 and even $100,000, you still have to, I'm citing, wait and retry after a short period, or reduce the rate of expensive requests, for example by using smaller context window or shorter outputs, or finally request a rate limit increase. Take a look at this, request paid tier rate limit increase. And you are not mistaken, even paying them thousands of dollars you still have multiple limits. Yes, I know that they say to you that the data you stored on their highly secure data centers, but they will never use it. But wait, what about all these reports about Claude, for example, when your account has been disabled for the inappropriate behavior? But how can they understand your behavior if they don't read your requests to the model? Just ask yourself. You will say, it's not about me, I'm not a criminal, I do nothing suspicious. But who knows, one day you will log in to your Claude or ChatGPT account and discover that you have been blocked for whatever reason. Maybe you moved to vacation to some restricted country, for example, or your ID card or passport is out of date. It doesn't matter. The only thing that does matter is that you can be blocked one day forever and lose all your chats and other data. When you see some LLM is marked as Pro or Flash or maybe Lite, what exactly it means? Does it mean that the model marked as Pro is devoted to professionals, or maybe it has maximum capabilities, or what? Let's be honest, you don't know for sure what is on the end of the API. A lot of people reported that Gemini has become dumber at the day of release of a new model. This is not only about Google. I like Google and its both proprietary and open source model. It relates to any cloud provider. Just think about it. Today it could be the best frontier model with, for example, 3 trillion parameters. Tomorrow they will switch it to another model with 1 trillion parameter. Both are good, I agree, but one day they will make a distillation of this model, for example, an QAT quantization. You won't see the difference in short term, but on a long distance it could ruin your business. Okay, you're a law-abiding citizen and you have nothing to hide. But one day you see I can't answer your question. But why? Who knows, but you'd like to talk to LLM about everything. Why not? You have troubles with your wife, or someone is bullying your child at school and you want to discuss it with the model, but the LLM can refuse answering your question. Well, those of you who dealt with the local LLM can say, it can happen even with a local setup, and you will be right, but partly. You can at least control the system prompt of the model. You can give strict instructions to it and the model won't refuse. Your open source model also has a safety layer and it theoretically can refuse, but not that much. You rely to your cloud provider since you are seeking for stability. And you are correct in that case, but you are locked in inside its infrastructure. You are inside a golden cage actually. Just think about the word provider. What does it mean? We are talking about someone who provided to you something. But what if you want something different? Okay, I will give you a simple example. Your LLM can search the internet. But what if you want to search the scientific papers or maybe archive.org? Okay, you can say that you can build the infrastructure of tools around the agent. But if you can do this, why do you need to feed this data to the API model? Why not using local instead? And I'm not talking about the private data and about the secret data. Remember this golden rule: your AI agent needs two crucial things: context and multiple requests. If your agent has a complicated task, it requires dozens of requests which must be made in parallel. But you are limited in both context and requests. You literally can't build a decent agent workflow without these limits. Forget about all these well-known N8N and other so-called agentic environments. In this case, the agent is trying to complete job sequentially. But to make professional job, the agent must work in parallel. It's the only serious approach, just remember this. Talking about the context, did you even question to yourself why your bills are so terrifying? I will give you an answer. When you send a single request with 2 new tokens to your coder or other agent, you pay for these 2 tokens plus all these 200,000 tokens of your project. Please read it one more time. Let me give you a short explanation. For example, you have a complicated project. Once you present your project to LLM, it puts the entire code of the project in the context. And when you give an agent a task to, for example, fix this bug, You don't pay for these 3 tokens. Instead, you pay for for example, 15,000 tokens that model keeps in the context, plus these 3 tokens. In the next request, you pay for 15,000 tokens plus these 3 tokens and plus the new tokens again. In other words, you pay for your huge context with every next single request. To be honest, there is a so-called cache hit rate, which is cheaper than basic rate. But just think about it. I will leave this question after you. But what you get when you go local? Literally everything. I'm talking about privacy, keeping your private data in secrecy. You won't face rate limits and censorship. You acquire speed, multiple requests and tons of other benefits. But you can ask the reasonable question, if everything is so brilliant, why not everybody go local? The answer is simple, it's your fear. You just fear making this step since when you made such a decision, everything is now depends on you. You are the one who controls all the wins and loses, and you are afraid of this. You used to believe that it's better when someone keeps all the things under control, but not you. On this channel I explore the enterprise-grade production-ready solutions for small, medium and even large business. I share secrets and thin nuances with my subscribers. Yes, it's boring, it's difficult, you need to learn, but it's the way to freedom for you and your business. But believe me, if you don't need to host hundreds and thousands of clients, the entire threshold is very low. For a single user, just download the LLM model using some software such as LM Studio and start to talk to it, and that's it. Meanwhile, if you are a serious guy and want to know the nuances of the local inference with such complicated frameworks as VLLM and SGLang, welcome to my channel. No matter who you are, professional or a beginner, I bet you won't lose. Thank you for watching.